An example. Yes, we want to go to one cruise ship a day. Okay, nice. Do we have a macroeconomical projection of what that would mean for the economy? And can you do that for me in a division of age groups, division of education levels? It would sound like the basic calculation any economy would do. Oh, you want to do it one ship, lower cruise tourism, no problem. What's the effect on that on purchasing power? Can you do that for me in age groups, gender groups, economic position, education levels? Have you seen any of those? We're gonna do a new pier. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's gonna have a macroeconomic. Okay. Do you have any projections for me of purchasing power? So any economy, when they're doing these big type of policy decisions, try to extrapolate to at least have an approachment of what the impact would be of such a decision. Have we had any on one area? Zero. And it worries me because you know what? Imagine you're in a car and it's dark as hell outside and you have zero instruments or there's no lighting instrument and you're driving 60, 90 on that road.
And that's what you're seeing is, well,
That's
what
how,
you've done.
if you do not have any measurement because you're going in a direction but you're not measuring at all how fast you're going, if the direction is correctly, you don't have lights on, how can you project?
Well, have you seen the data that TCB is offering and saying that look, we've seen an improvement in the number of tourists, we've regained the pre-pandemic level of arrivals.
What does it say to me?
It doesn't.
What does it say?
That the economy is back to where it is, and that the
the
shift is towards the higher quality.
Is it? I don't know. It's your statement. You said.
Yeah, I saw the TCB data, and
they did a quantitative. Okay, so what you're saying is in the theory of TCB. If I would say tomorrow, yes, there's 1 million cruise ship passengers that came to America, your opinion would be, oh, the economy is going better and we have a quality increase, a quality tourism.
They talked about it, not I think across all category of tourism. It wasn't just cruise
the
or
point
air.
is, how did they define quality?
Yeah.
To be able to measure quality, and
Yeah.
what did they measure to say that it's an increase in quality?
Yeah.
All I saw is a return stabilized of arrivals. Nice.
I think also on the air side, the increased number of business class seats relative to, because what used to happen was you ended up, when the flight used to go from Amsterdam to Aruba to Bonaire,
Business class has always been full to Amsterdam from.
And the numbers that are coming to Bonaire has increased, is according to that kind of data.
No, that I didn't see.
You haven't seen it, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that I didn't see.
But if you saw that,
it's very difficult to measure that also. A question. So okay, so somebody got a business class seat to come to Bonaire. Nice. But why would you say that is an increase in the quality of air?
No, that's.
If you have, are you starting to, you know what would define as a quality in Bonaire? If, for example, the average room rate
would rise, or they stay longer,
would have rise, and consequently you have a higher salary for the employees. Yeah. Then I would say, hey, wait a minute, nice. Yeah. So the numbers are staying. Where is the measurement of the GDP impact, the purchasing power impact? Where is it? Isn't it something that in the States they do it quarterly, I even believe.
Yeah, but
employment rates.
We don't have. I don't think the tracking of the economy on Bonaire is done in any systematic.
Exactly. In 2015, one of the first decisions I did was a commissioner decision to create a department of statistical and management data. How can you govern an island, a place without data?
Not only that, you should have it as an independent entity that's not under any political.
True, but the problem is because in Holland you have the CBS, Central Bureau of Statistics, and you have the CPS.
Yeah.
No, CPB. Central Planning Bureau.
Yeah.
CBS
Provides the data.
reports on what happened.
Yeah.
CPB projects on what might happen based on proposed policies or existing policies. CPB didn't do any report for Bonaire ever. They do it quarterly, monthly in Holland, but even they have purchasing power projections structurally. Why are there no structural purchasing power reports for Bonaire? When we were in government in 2015, what we wanted to do, first of all, we went to make an agreement with CBS. We would buy capacity with them. So some research that we wanted to do, some topics, because why? It's an independent, they call it a ZBO in Dutch, Zelfstandig Bestuursorgaan. So there's an independent institute financed by government. But we wanted to purchase X amount of research and reports based on data they already have, to have some queries based on the needs we have. For example, growth data on how many hotel rooms do we have, what do you project based on the trend, what can we see in hotel room, what's the capacity, because that's what they do. They make analysis of raw data to do queries so you can. And that's why we wanted to open the bureau internally, just to start. How can the government decide that we need more hotels if the government of Bonaire doesn't even know how many hotel rooms
I'll project
there are? No, there are now. The government of Bonaire, when asked, could not give the amount of hotel rooms that are available on Bonaire now. The government of Bonaire doesn't know how many hotel beds there are.
And when you say the government of Bonaire, you see this as the current people in executive power. You don't see yourself as the...
No, I see it as the government of Bonaire. The problem is, I can tell you, the first week I was in office, that was the first thing I asked to have that bureau.
Yeah.
Because for me, if I am in the... Because why? I am in the Island Council, Adnan. I can ask for data because I find the data important for me to be able to do my job. But if the majority doesn't find it important...
It's not going to happen.
I'm not going to get it. If the executive council doesn't find it important, I'm not going to get it. One thing I can tell you, if I was behind the wheel, I'm not going to be driving blind. Are you nuts? This is not my bicycle that I can chill on. We're talking about the island.
The community as a
You're
whole.
driving blind. You're making policy decisions without having any quantitative nor projections of what the impact of your decisions mean for real lives and people. Zero. Really? This is not your lemonade stand around the corner. This is real business. This is people's lives. So, when I say the government of Bonaire, of course, I'm co-responsible because I'm one of the 9 members of I should take co-responsibility. I know for sure that I'm not responsible because we're the one, we made a decision already, they never executed it. What I don't understand, are we the only ones that find this necessary?
This kind of data, you mean?
Yeah.
This kind of information to guide you?
And even worse, what you said about being an independent institute is even more important. Why? Because as government you need it. But imagine you do it, like you said, an independent institute, and the data is freely available to everyone.
Then you can be challenged on it.
Not only that, what's the benefit for the economic development? Because
Or it could be trusted also, because it's not under any political control that you try
One.
to skew the data in favor of your
Exactly.
policies.
No, but no, the data should be for sure that.
Yeah.
But originally when we even started was pure for you to be able to govern. But what you're saying, if the data is publicly available, okay, give me an example. If I'm thinking of doing, just saying something. I want to do a new bottling company because I want to do bottled water in glass bottles because I want us to stop with the plastic bottles. I want to do it tomorrow. One of the first things I need to know is what is the rate of import of bottles now, right? Is that data available? How can I make my business case?
Yeah, no, I think
should
there's
go.
a very important part for economic growth, development, business strategy, everything you need.
Data.
I mean, what's surprising to me also is the fact that we I mean, this should be live, so to speak. I mean, we should be able to produce this. I mean, even CBS data is actually quite old. Sometimes it's like, months old, as opposed to
Sometimes 2 years. Even.
Yeah, which is kind of a surprise that we can't generate
But
this.
some data is better than no data.
Of course.
And it's very funny because sometimes I call CBS regularly.
Yeah.
I say, hey, I'm
Do
looking
you
for
have
this
this?
data. Do you have this?
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah. But should that be available for
Everybody.
everybody?
Absolutely. In fact,
For everybody. And what you said, as live as possible.
as live as possible.
Even if you could say it's 1 month old, because CBS always reports in hindsight.
Yeah, sure.
So CBS only reports on things that
Yeah, but
happen.
there's certain
a
data-
projection bureau,
Yeah.
a central projection bureau, uses that raw data,
Yeah, makes a projection
uses
on it.
current policy to make a projection.
Sure.
So if we want to make decisions on, let's say we're talking about we're going to, I don't even want to use the term high end anymore. Why you want to use the term high end? Because I heard they're doing a bachelor's beach development and they're calling it a high end development. Apparently in their mind, when you pour concrete, it's high end. So the higher the concrete, the more end it is. The high end of Bonaire. So I'm very cautious. Let's say a more equitable Bonaire, where real people, local people, local, yes, is just term, more spread around in the community, have a fair and equal share in
Of the
our
benefits.
economy, benefits of the economy. They can participate. Like an example I used today, I think I told you this long time ago before. If we're talking about an equitable economy, should it be as a government that we stimulate that a mom and pop with their children, they have a small farmhouse, small farm. They put 5 bungalows there, 1-bedroom bungalows. They have like this communal yard, and they have a 60% occupancy. So out of the 5, 3 are rented out. They also charge the same average rate what they're charging now, let's say for a normal hotel room, let's say $150. 60% occupancy, that's $450 a day. Right? So I already did the 60% on the amount of rooms. So that's 365 days a year at $450 a day. That's around $180,000 of revenue, right? Around. That's it. 150, 160, 170. You will come down to $15,000 of revenue a month for a family business. 5. So it's pops who does the maintenance, mom who does the cooking and all that stuff. The daughter, they helps around with cleaning the rooms. It's only 5 bungalows, my friend. The money goes directly in whose pocket? That family. Or is it the economy we want? No, we're going to pour more concrete, have high-rise hotels where you have 2, 3, or 4 proprietors.
And you get to clean the rooms.
And you're the employee who get to clean the room and brush their shit.
Earners versus low-paid employees. What would you prefer?
Equity. What do you want the people?
Well, actually, even further, which is, if you want to really go there, whose island is it? In the sense that who's living here? If you are the one who's living here and you're just basically going there and cleaning the toilet, is that the future you want? Or if you're living here,
A lot
would you rather
of times, those people who run the big hotels
don't even live here?
They want to own it.
Sure.
But this is a mom and pop shop.
Well, I think that's. I don't think there's an argument that what is.
There is, but why is it happening?
Why isn't it happening? Well, that's because of flawed policies, right? If our policies are not focused on the benefits to
But
our people, then you will have this.
I agree, but the question comes back to you just said, the TCB says, yeah, we're moving to high end because more business class. Anybody can pay to go in that bungalow. So for me, the measurement of high end is not how much money you have in your pocket. The measurement of high end is how much are you willing to invest in the Monero populace.
Sure.
So to make those 5 bungalows, it can be wooden bungalows. The investment for that
In
was
fact,
much lower.
some people would argue that the charm of that may in fact be even more appealing.
They would
than-
even pay $250 for it.
In fact, even more, especially if the family was authentic,
A local.
local, and they could experience the
Exactly.
thing, then go and stay in just another chain.
Another chain, and
Yeah.
I agree with you, and I
So
believe
in fact, that's that kind of a boutique experience
exactly.
could
But
in
I
fact
think,
have even better margins.
well,
than-
even agree. I agree with you, but I just use that thing. The
and that's what you
calculation.
should. That's what we should simulate. So
Well, I use the calculation for 150. Why? Because some people would argue, yeah, but they will not pay for it. A friend of mine, a good friend of mine, he lives in Bonaire, he's an entrepreneur also, has a restaurant, blah, blah. He went with his daughter on a trip in France. He has a second house in France, and he went on a trip. And on those drives, you know how France is. He was driving around, vineyard here, vineyard there, and he saw, thinking, oh, they were renting tree houses in the vineyard, tree houses with a non-water eco toilet. You know,
Yeah.
those ash thing
Yeah.
shower. There was like a communal shower
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
There were 3 or 4 tree houses
Yeah.
on the vineyard.
Yeah.
One more Lux, one
And
150 a night.
yeah.
Dude, it was a couple of
Simple.
wood planks around the tree.
Yeah, yeah.
The investment of that thing was maybe $15,000.
Yeah.
What I want to explain is, to make that hotel, you need millions. You're making an investment of a couple of thousand and charging the same rate. So the profit margin, the contribution margin,
Sure.
the contribution rate is much higher. So the local family, how complex would it be to create a government policy?
Encouraging
say-
that kind of.
Well, finance it
Yeah.
at 0% interest.
Sure.
Just a revolving fund, or maybe the inflation rate just to the valuation. So within 5 years, less they've paid everything,
Of course.
and the next can do it. And you make, like you said, because you said boutique. The funny thing is, in the strategic plan, they call boutique 60